So our question is like, we will be writing a code for this question. So let's say we have a base URL. So this is the URL, and we want to separate the, let's say we have a URL and we want to separate the base URL and the resource path. So for this one, we will be writing the code. So let's copy the question first. Let's go here. Let's go to the services. I'll create a class. So I'll say that URL parser would be fine. Yeah, URL parser or separator. Yeah, parcel is fine. Parcel services. It's fine. Parcel services. Here we have let's write the question here. So let's say we have a resource path and let's say we have a URL and we want to separate the base URL and the resource path. So let's say segregate, segregate, segregate URL, segregate URL. Okay, so I'll be getting the URL. I'll be storing them in a string, and what I'll do is I'll not do anything. I'll just display it in my method itself. Okay, and this is a public method. Okay, fine. So what I'll do is I'll use the URL. Okay, even here you have to, yeah, fine then. Okay, so URL last index of slash. So where the last slash would be there. So we will be finding the index number. So I'll say last index. So it will return int. Okay, now what I'll do is, yeah, this will find the last index. Now I want to find out the base URL. So let's say URL dot substring. So here the beginning index it would be 0 and the end index would be last index. Okay, this would return new string. So I'll say this is base URL. That's fine. So now what I'll do is, yeah, I want to find out the resource path. I'll use the last index. Okay, so URL dot substring of, so what is this? Last index plus 1. Okay, so which will be last index number plus 1, we are extending it. So this will return resource path. Resource, just we can write resource as well. Okay, so here we'll display the base URL. First we'll display the URL in the divisions. We'll write it. URL is, this is the URL we are passing it, and we are segregating the URL. We have segregated the URL, and the base URL is this. Let me write one more statement over here. Segregated the given URL and the base URL, we got it, and the resource path equals to, we can use some brackets and say this resource. Okay, so this is let's format this one. So done. Fine, right? We are not returning anything, so don't do anything. It's fine. So let's go to the client application. Let's create one more class. So I'll name the class as URL parcel. Client application URL parser. Client application. So what I'll do is I'll write main method. Inside main method, I'll write I'll give my URL parcel services class object, new URL services, and I want the main method should execute this URL parcel services method, segregate URL. I'll be passing the URL over here. So let's copy the URL. So this is the URL, or you can take any other. So you can take, let me give my own URL. Let's find, so Java YT solutions. Yes, got it. Okay. This is the URL. I want to segregate it. So I have passed it. Okay. So now what would be the resource? What would be the resource? This is the resource, right? Okay, let's give this instead of .html. Let's give this. This is the resource. Okay, fine. So what is the base URL? What is the base URL? Till here it is base URL. Okay. So now let's execute this one. Run as URL parser client applications. Let's see. So what would be the response we are getting? So it's running. So URL is, this is the URL, and the segregated we are segregating the URL, and the base URL is, see what I said. So up to here it is base URL, right? So we got the same, and the resource path is Java features something. So you can add the HTML as well. There is no problem in it, but I just want to tell you. Okay, fine. The resource path and the base URL and the URL. Got it? Fine. No doubts, right?